Hello lovely book dragons and welcome back to a super exciting video. Oh, welcome if you're new here. My name is Joana. I love to talk about books. I love to talk about fantasy books specifically, but also other types of books. And today guys, today I have a collaboration which is going to be a 3-video collaboration with my lovely, wonderful and amazing friend Sophia about Sophia's Thoughts. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do. She has the best voice, guys. She has the best voice. Soothing, calming. She is ASMR. And if you're not following her yet, I will leave her channel down below. Please go check her out. So Sophia and I, we were talking about video ideas that we wanted to do together. And we thought, hey, let's just reread and rewatch all of the Hunger Games books. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's been 10 years, guys. I picked this up, I think 2011. I think so, and it's 2021, so it's been 10 years since I read this book. I've never reread it since then. I loved it, I was obsessed with it, I was obsessed with the movies. My second semester of college, I was already in my apartment from the previous semester, but my roommate, who was my roommate from my first semester, had moved out and I got a second roommate. And I was already in my apartment getting everything set up, and then a new roommate came in and she's like, hi, I'm just looking for a room. Do you already have a room roommate or should I pick one of the other rooms? I said, no problem. My room roommate moved out, so you can share the room with me. And she was like, okay, great. I'm gonna go get my stuff. And then I saw that she brought out a huge Hunger Games poster, and that is how our friendship began. It is actually, I started my very first channel with her back in the day in 2013, which we then stopped because, you know, we didn't live together anymore. Hunger Games was a huge part of my life when I was like 10 years ago. It was so huge. And I decided then with Sophia that we were gonna reread and rewatch the books, and we're gonna do a vlog for each book. I'm so excited, guys. I'm not excited for Mockingjay. I will tell you straight off the bat, I didn't like Mockingjay, but I'm so excited for Hunger Games and Catching Fire. So by the time that I'm filming this intro, I already watched the movie, which I will roll a little clip of me talking about it last night. So yesterday was Saturday, May 8th. Today is Sunday, May 9th. I watched the movie last night. I technically wanted to read the book first, of course. But then I thought, hey, I had a live show with Ali, and right now I would really feel like watching a movie, and I want to watch the Hunger Games. So we watched the movie, and I'm going to be reading this after watching. But for the next vlogs, I promise I'll read the books first and then watch the movie. But it was so good that I watched the movie. Because, okay, wait, first roll the clip of last night, and then we'll talk about it. Hi friends, I'm doing this really quickly on my shaky hand because this is the first update for this video, and I decided that I'm gonna start with watching the movie. I know it's very unorthodox, and I swear for Catching Fire, Mockingjay, I will not do that. I will actually I will read the book first. But tonight was just a perfect time to watch the movie. I have time, Sophia has time, so I'm gonna start by watching the Hunger Games, and then I'm gonna read it. So yeah, I'll probably insert some clips of us watching it, and then I will talk to you when I've read the book. But I'm so excited, guys. It's been 10 years, less years for the movies, but still, I'm so excited. Okay, you're back. So rewatching the movie really gave me the enthusiasm to do this even more. I was so excited to do this already, but watching the movie really got me into the mood and into the Hunger Games spirit, and it was just so good. And guys, I missed this so much, and I was just like messaging Sophia all the time because we watched it together, and it was just so fun to talk about everything and all the little moments, you know, that were so iconic 10 years ago. That is mahogany. I just missed it, you know. And so now I'm going to be picking up the book, and I'm so excited to reread this and see if it holds up. If anything, the movie held up. I still really liked it, and it just brought me back to my college years and all those crazy moments. And now I'm just excited to see what I think of the book. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to try and read it all today. I don't know if I can do that, but I definitely want to read it until tomorrow, which is Monday, because this vlog needs to be out this week. And I can't wait. I'm so I was telling Sophia this yesterday when we were watching the movie. I'm so excited to read the books again because you get Katniss's thoughts. And I remember that back then I didn't understand Katniss well enough. She wasn't a very likable main character, to me at least. And I couldn't relate to the things that she was thinking and she was saying. So now I want to see how I feel about it. I'm so excited. So we're gonna be reading this book, and then we're gonna be talking about it. And hopefully I won't just binge it and then not update you. But if that happens, I'm sorry, but I'm also really not sorry. So let's see if The Hunger Games still holds up 10 years after. So I didn't realize that Katniss's birthday was on May 8th. So happy birthday, Katniss. I'm reading your book on your birthday. Quickly, I just want to say that I tabbed the whole scene where they do the silence when she becomes a volunteer, because that scene is just so emotional and I love it so much, and I'm going to continue reading. Hey guys, it is a few hours later. I am now on chapter 12, so I just finished chapter 11, and that is the chapter where she is stuck in the tree and the girl made a fire and gets killed by the career tribute. This is when Katniss hears that Peeta is hanging out with the career tribute. So I just wanted to go back to a few things that have happened before. So because I just recently watched the movie, I can compare them already a little bit more. But what I love in the books that you don't get in the movies is you get a lot more of the interactions with her and Cinna. You get her thoughts. You get to see everything and how she thinks and how she processes everything that's happening to her. And I absolutely love that. Something else that I really love that they took out of the movies is the whole thing with the Avox girl, where Katniss sees her and recognizes her, and then Peeta kind of covers for her. And there's a thing that I really loved. It's on page 104 of my book. It's the very end of chapter 6. And Katniss is thinking, and she says, I set out to tell her I was sorry about dinner, but I know that my apology runs much deeper, that I'm ashamed I never tried to help her in the woods, that I let the Capitol kill the boy and mutilate her without lifting a finger, just like I was watching the Hunger Games. I kick off my shoes and climb under the covers in my clothes. The shivering hasn't stopped. Perhaps the girl doesn't even remember me, but I know she does. You don't forget the face of the person who was your last hope. I pull the covers over my head as if this will protect me from the red-headed girl who can't speak, but I can feel her eyes staring at me, piercing through the walls and doors and bedding. I wonder if she'll enjoy watching me die. I really like these thoughts that we get from her and the Avox girl, because you can tell that she really regrets it. And as much as she hates the Capitol for putting children in an arena and letting them kill each other, what she did to this girl when she could have saved her life is not much different, and how she realizes that, and I absolutely love that. I also love how Katniss sees Peeta's kind of strategy of surviving, and how he waves at people and he's always smiling. And she says, this is at the end of chapter 4, she says, he hasn't accepted his death, he is already fighting hard to stay alive. And yeah, we all have different ways of fighting to stay alive, and that was Peeta's, and I really liked that, which was really sad when he tells her that his mom came to say goodbye to him and said that maybe District 12 would finally have a winner, and his mom was talking about Katniss, and how that must have hurt him, because we see that he was really not treated well by his mother, and that even Katniss says like the father was a lot nicer, and he was the one who sometimes bought her squirrels when the mother wasn't around, because Peeta's mom is pretty terrible. So I am really loving this. I am now, like I said, at the part where she finds out that Peeta is hanging out with the career tributes, and yeah, I'm gonna be continuing reading. I'm loving this. Great idea to read this. Hey guys, I just reached the end of part 2, which is when they announced that there can be 2 winners if they are from the same district. So we just had Rue's death, which was just so sad, as always. It's just so sad. But I did love the part where Katniss thinks of Peeta when she says, then I remember Peeta's words on the roof. Only I keep wishing I could think of a way to show the Capitol that they don't own me, that I'm more than just a piece in their games, and for the first time I understand what he means. I want to do something right here, right now, to shame them, to make them accountable, to show the Capitol that whatever they do or force us to do, there is a part of every tribute they can't own. That Rue was more than a piece in their games, and so am I. And that's when she then like puts the flowers on her and just, oh, that was just so good. But yeah, now I'm on to part 3, which is called The Victor. But I'm gonna be taking a break now because we're gonna be going on a walk very soon. And I will probably try and finish this still today or tomorrow. I mean, I read all of this today, like all of this. I read 300 pages today of this, and it's just so good. It flies by, and yeah, I really like it. I cannot wait to finish it, and then I think I will be jumping into Catching Fire rather quickly because this, guys, is everything so far. Hey guys, it is a couple of days later, and I actually managed to finish this on Sunday. I read this whole thing in one day. I mean, it's not that big of an accomplishment. I think it's still a little bit over 400 pages, so it's still a lot, but these go by so fast, and I mean, it's the Hunger Games. So I wanted to come wrap it up, and there are a few things I wanted to talk about. I don't really remember when was the last time that I updated you where I was at, so I wanted to talk about Rue's death. I want to talk about the relationship between Katniss and Haymitch, Katniss and Peeta, and then my final thoughts. So, talking about Rue's death, I think I mentioned it, but I think the thing that I want to talk about here is the fact that the movie took out the whole bread scene where District 11 comes together and buys bread for Katniss because she is hungry, and she thanks them on camera in the arena. And that scene is just so powerful, especially when you take into account what happens in Catching Fire when she goes back to District 11. And I love that scene, and I think it's too bad that they took it out of the movie because it adds a whole nother layer to this whole thing. And I love that scene. It really touched me. I'd completely forgotten about it because, like I said, it's been 10 years, and I just really, really, really love that scene. The next thing I want to talk about is Katniss's relationship with Haymitch in the books. In the movie, we see that when he sends her a little package with the little parachutes, he sometimes puts in a little word, and then that's it. And what I love about the difference between that in the movie and that in the books is that in the books, at some point, in the very beginning even of when she arrives in the arena, and in the first couple of hours or first couple of days, she is really, really thirsty. And she thinks, why would Haymitch not send me some water if he knows I'm this thirsty? Why would he not care? And then she realizes, wait a second, if he's not sending me water, it's probably because I'm very close to water. And then she finds it, and then she can drink. And we see this happen again when they announce that two people can be crowned victor from the same district when she goes to find Peeta. And she realizes that Peeta hasn't gotten anything from Haymitch this whole time in the games. He's been really injured and he hasn't received anything. And she thinks, okay, we're gonna try and find a way to get stuff. And when they get the medicine, there is never a word in the gift, in the parcel. And she just starts realizing, okay, I just kissed him, I just played the Star-Crossed Lovers game, and we got the broth so that he could stay alive and have some food. And so she starts realizing that when she plays into the game, when she plays into the Star-Crossed Lover thing, that's when Haymitch sends her stuff. And so she starts to be able to read kind of the situation, also what Haymitch is thinking, what's going on outside of the arena, with the gifts that she gets. And this also plays into her relationship with Peeta, which is completely different, I find, in the books and in the movies, because if you're just watching the movies, you realize, okay, maybe she doesn't love him, but maybe she is falling in love with him. You don't really know. And in the books, she doesn't even know. She has no idea what she's feeling for Peeta. She just knows that, okay, we gotta go home together. And she also knows that if she goes home and he doesn't, yeah, it's gonna be tough because Peeta is pretty beloved, and Peeta was the one who kind of carried the whole romance thing. He was the one who admitted that he was in love, and so she doesn't want to have that burden of coming home and knowing she could probably have saved him, but she didn't. And so I love seeing that. I love seeing how Haymitch and her communicate without really communicating, and how that impacts her relationship with Peeta. She plays along to win. And in the beginning we saw, I think I read this to you, where she says about Peeta, he hasn't accepted his death. He is already fighting hard to stay alive. And that's when he starts waving to the crowd and stuff. And she knows that there's different ways to win, and this is one of them. And that she's gonna play along. And if that's what's gonna get them home, that's what she's gonna do. And she doesn't even know why she does the thing with the berries. Is it because she loves Peeta? Is it because she would feel terrible to kill him and then go home and face the whole district being like, hey guys, I killed Peeta? Or is it because she has this rebellious spark in her? She doesn't really know. And I absolutely love that. I loved seeing her inner monologue, her not exactly knowing what's going on, but it also doesn't matter because you need to survive. You need to get out of this situation and survive and go home. And that I really loved. Absolutely great. While I was talking, the idea of actually losing Peter hit me again, and I realized how much I don't want him to die. And it's not about the sponsors, and it's not about what will happen back home, and it's not just that I don't want to be alone. It's him. I do not want to lose the boy with the bread. And it's just like what she feels is so complex. It's on the one hand she says it's all to win, and on the one hand she says it isn't, and that she like it's complex, and I really like that. All right, so the question is, does it still hold up 10 years later? Do I still love this book? And the answer is yes. I kept my 5-star rating. I mean, is it the most phenomenal thing I've ever read? Probably. It's up there. No, but in all seriousness, I kept my 5-star rating because this was so nostalgic. This was I discovered it again in a whole new way. Even having seen the movie, I really was able to appreciate the little things that change in the books, and the thought process of Katniss, which was one of the things I didn't like the first time around, and I actually really liked it this time. So I think this still holds up. Of course, now I don't read as much dystopia anymore, actually at all. I read fantasy now, but this book is what got me into reading. When I was young, I was a big reader as a kid, and then I went into high school, and then I kind of stopped reading. I read the books that we were assigned to. I read a little bit in the summers, but I wasn't an avid reader. And this is the book, this is the series that made me into an avid reader. This is the series that I made friends over with for the first time. Like, I had never had that experience of bonding with people because of a book, which is just so incredible. And now it happens all the time, but this was the first one. This is the one that made me discover BookTube back in the day when it was just becoming a thing. This is a book that made me into this avid reader with a ton of books behind me that I just devour and that I love. And I owe so much to this book and the series, and I'm just so glad that I reread this. It's been 10 years, but it was just great, and I still think that if you're trying to get younger people into reading, this is great, and I just still love them. There you go, guys. Those are my thoughts about The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins 10 years later. Let me know in the comments down below if you read the books back in the day, if you've reread them recently, what you thought of them, and if these books were as impactful to you as a reader as they were to me. And until next time, guys, I wish you a happy reading and stay safe. Bye!